Hello, I am José María Olazábal and I want to welcome you to the European Legends Cup. It's lovely to be playing at home. This time of the year we're going to have beautiful weather for sure, so fantastic to be part of this and welcoming everyone to this wonderful event.
So while Spain is very much a traditional venue, we're at a new course for a new tournament this week here in Andalusia, and the players are raring to go.
Weather's always really good down here, so it's a nice part of the world, and we've got some good courses. So yeah, I don't think I've done particularly well in Spain over the years, probably here and there, but nothing sensational. So hopefully I can start this week.
I mean, it's one of the best destinations in Europe for golf, isn't it? So all great, all good. We're back down here. It's going to be warm and nice. You know, it feels like I'm well prepared for this.
This country can bring a lot of things to the game of golf. We do have usually great weather, good golf courses, the food is excellent, and I think that for Spain to be part of this tour, I think it is important.
You need to be able to hit the fairways because you've got to control the ball, and thereon, hit the greens because it's going to be tricky to chip around these greens with grainy greens. So being on the green in the right amount of shots is going to be vital this week.
So a new event at a new venue, and last week we had a new winner at the Legends Open de France presented by CLA. Scotsman Greg Hutchin impressed, bursting through the field with a closing 64 to win by 2 shots over Scott Hend and Simon Kahn. That win moved Hutchin into the top 10 of the MCB Road to Mauritius. Hend and De Silva swapped positions, and it's still Richard Green who sits atop the standings. With 30 professional wins around the world, including 2 Masters, 7 playing appearances in the Ryder Cup, and of course that victorious captaincy at the Miracle at Medina, Jose Maria Olazábal is a global golfing icon, not just here in Spain. It was my privilege earlier in the week to catch up with him as he shared some of his top short game insights. Let's start with the most simple, a basic chip and run. How do you set up and play that shot?
I do most of my shots with the same club, with a 58. That's my most open club and lofted club, and I will stand really close to the ball. And why that? I will do that because that will allow me to swing all the time through the shot online on the intended target. If I'm standing a little bit too far away from the ball, there will be a tendency to swing it a little bit more on the inside, and that won't allow you to have a good angle of attack onto the ball. And that's why you will see me, by instance, for this shot here, I will have my ball well back in my stance, and as you can see, I'll be really actually pretty close to the ball. If this is a neutral stance, my hands will be there. I'm not changing my hands, but if I move my ball back in the stance, the hands will be there. I will grip it shorter, obviously, because I'm closer to the ball. And once I've done that, from this position, I just try to swing the club on the intended target, just like that.
Beautiful. Where does the motion of the swing coming from? Is it from the shoulders?
If you look at this, my arms are pretty much the only thing that is moving on the backswing, and it's true that on the follow-through, you have to allow the body to follow the shot. Okay, that's the only thing. But before you hit the ball, I mean, it's only pretty much arms, and then again, you allow the ball and the club to follow the motion through the shot. If you look at the game of golf, I mean, especially amateurs, if they would practice their short game, I'm pretty sure they will save many shots. I tell that to every amateur that asks me.
Coming up later in the show, I sit down for a chat with last week's winner, Greg Hutchin. But right now, let's take a look at the best of the early rounds action with your commentary team, Warren Humphreys, and first of all, Michael McMullen.
Thanks, Kit. And those first 2 rounds were played over a couple of days when everything really had to be earned. The going was tough, the scoring was high, as winds of up to 30 miles an hour made for an exacting challenge for the stars of the Legends Tour over the first 36 holes. Now, as we've discussed, Jose Maria Olazabal has always been renowned for his ability on and around the greens. But his long game has generally been useful too, as he showed in setting up an eagle chance at the second hole in round 1. Olazabal, always so associated with the Ryder Cup ever since he was part of the first European team to win in the US on his debut 37 years ago. And a quarter of a century since he was clad in Augusta green for a second time, the short game is still there as well. Olazabal would later take it to 3 under, but ended up with a 74, followed by 76 the next day.
For Peter Baker, last season's number 1, it was an uncharacteristic slow start, opening up with a 74 on day 1. But with this brilliant birdie on 17 on day 2, it helped him to a 68, equalled the best score of the day, and he's definitely in the hunt.
Another player from the English Midlands, Andrew Marshall, started with a 73, but he too would get on much better on the second day, emerging with 68 from a round which featured an eagle and 7 birdies, including this one at the 17th. South Africans have a well-deserved reputation for coping well with playing in windy conditions, and Keith Horn lived up to that billing on day 2, almost holing out for eagle at the opener. A pair of 70s added up to a solid start for him.
Following on from his opening round of 69, Scott Ewan McIntosh got off to a real flyer with this monster putt at the first. He birdied the second as well in round of 70, and he's just one off the leaders.
Adilson de Silva has been a Legends Tour winner once again this season. 71 was a decent way to get going, and the Brazilian was already 1 under for the day in round 2 when he set up a birdie chance on 5. Another one in the bank for de Silva. In these conditions, it was impressive to card just 1 bogey all day. A birdie finish saw him round in 68.
It's easy to see why the former Open champion Paul Lawrie is called Chippy, as he holds out for an eagle here on the 18th, one of 3 eagles in the first 2 rounds. Hence, he's one of the joint leaders at 6 under par.
And also getting himself in with a chance was Philip Archer, tied for the lead after an opening 68. This bunker shot on 12 was one of the reasons he went bogey-free in round 2, as the search continues for a first ever Legends Tour win.
I've been in this position before and stuff, and hopefully I'll learn from it. Obviously I'm playing with Paul Lawrie and de Silva tomorrow. We're obviously great players and informed players, so I'm not thinking anything stupid's going to happen. I've got to play well if I'm going to try and take the title and stuff. So, but I'm playing well, so there's no reason why I can't keep doing what I'm doing and give myself a chance down the stretch.
Archer's 70 puts him alongside Lawrie on 6 under. McIntosh will be in the penultimate group, but like de Silva, is only a shot behind. So the top 4 are covered by just a single stroke, and in total there are 9 players either sharing the lead or within 3 shots of it. For Adilson de Silva, it's a day of big opportunity. Runner-up in the MCB Road to Mauritius in both of his previous seasons on the Legends Tour, he has the chance to go top of the standings today, with 6 events left to go.
Paul Lawrie, Philip Archer and Adilson de Silva ready to get the final 3 ball out onto the course here at Golf Al Merimar. And I'm delighted to report, while it was brutally windy for the first 2 days, there is far less breeze today, and this golf course is going to yield eagles and birdies.
Something which was illustrated very quickly by Philip Price. The Welshman birdied the first and had this for eagle at the next hole. Starting the day 6 back, he'd already cut that in half. Indeed, the first 2 holes were proving fruitful for much of the field. Andrew Rate, 3 behind overnight, started with this birdie and would go on to make another on the second. Peter Baker was 1 shot further back starting out. He too got things underway with a birdie and would also follow it with a 4 at the long second. The final group are on the first. Tell us what's facing them, Warren.
Well, the opening hole not particularly long at 379 yards, but trees and bushes right and also long through the fairway. And bunkers at the corner of the dogleg make accuracy a key factor. Your opening tee shot, don't want it too far right, otherwise you're in real trouble. De Silva first to go out with the driver. He's not the longest off the tee, but usually pretty accurate. And those TrackMan figures show clubhead speed just under 100 miles an hour. So swinging well within himself and nicely down the fairway at 235 yards. But for Archer, he's out with a fairway metal, also going for accuracy. And despite the greater clubhead speed than De Silva, with the shorter club shaft and more loft on the face, it does mean that they both hit similar distances off the tee, just past that 230-yard mark.
Now, Ewan McIntosh, hoping to make it back-to-back Scottish winners on the Legends Tour. His best finish so far this season was 4th in Switzerland.
Oh, yeah. Whoa,
Look at that. Odds on, he's going to make eagle as early as the 2nd hole. And now another Scott, Warren.
Well, a man used to pressure, former Open champion Laurie. Graceful swinger of the club, just a 3/4 shot there with a medium short iron. And beautifully controlled through it all the way to the back of the green, confident shot.
Brought back so many memories seeing him playing in the Senior Open this summer at Carnoustie, where he won the Claret Jug a quarter of a century ago. Philip Archer on his way to the opening green.
Nice economical swing that. Look right on line. So 2 players with a chance for birdie. Let's see if De Silva can do something similar. Shoulders aiming that one a little right of the target, so obviously trying to bring it back on the right to left wind, and that's a pretty good shot as well. So all with chances of birdies.
Meanwhile, Keith Horn has the chance of an eagle at the 2nd. 2 behind overnight, started with a par. This to go into a share of the lead. Well, didn't really threaten, but gets his birdie. Looking for his 2nd win of the year.
Paul Lawrie. Let's see if he can start with an opening birdie. Excellent chance. Inside 20 feet. Well, certainly had enough pace. Obviously just pulled it a fraction.
That was a chance to lead on his own. Ewan McIntosh now has that very same opportunity. Wonderful shot in. He always fancied him to complete the eagle, so McIntosh gets it to 7 under. Philip Archer, though, can immediately match him because he's got a birdie putt on the 1st green.
Archer then for his birdie attempt at the 1st. Gave that a good healthy smack, and I don't know about you, Mike, but I think that Kit Alexander must have polished up his crystal ball, because he's right about players holding putts for birdies and eagles. We've seen plenty of those so far. It's amazing.
So Archer starts with a birdie. De Silva to match him. This is now to be within 1 of the lead again.
Well, I think they must have increased the size of the hole, because that was absolutely dead centre, as calm as you like from De Silva.
Archer immediately reclaims a share of the lead then alongside McIntosh. Marshall among those one back after he eagled the 2nd hole for the 3rd day in a row. So it's getting even more tightly packed in the final round of the European Legends Cup. It's the final round of the European Legends Cup at Golf Almerimar. After getting his card at the Q School last year, Greg Hutchin finished 8th in the MCB Road to Mauritius in his debut season. And last time out, the Scot achieved his breakthrough win.
Are you the type of person that imagined yourself getting a Legends Tour victory?
I don't know, that's a good question. I don't know if I imagined it. I maybe sort of hoped that I would maybe one day get one.
Has the reality of being a winner surprised you in any ways?
No, I don't think so. I think just the amount of support and messages I got, and best wishes. My boys were really pleased for me because they know I'd been trying hard to get a result. So yeah, they were delighted.
Do you think winning at this level means more to you because of what you've had to do to get here?
Getting through the school is really difficult. I was really chuffed to get through the school because, I knew it was my sort of singular chance. Sometimes when something means so much to you, it can hamper your performance.
When you do build up to something so much like that, as you say, you then achieve it, you've got your tour card. What's the challenge then? Because ultimately you've got to go and keep it.
For someone like myself, who I'm not at all in a lofty position in the all-time money list either. Last year, my target was just to keep my card, keep my playing rights, try and finish in the top 20, top 25, which is no mean feat with the illustrious players that you're surrounded by out here.
But how much are you enjoying this chapter of your career in seniors golf?
Oh, yeah, really enjoy it. I've enjoyed the major tournaments so far. We've going to some great destinations.
How much do you feel that win has taken the pressure off?
It does take the pressure off, but your parameters are always changing, and now someone pointed out to me, oh crikey, in another couple of good weeks and you could be in the hunt for the Order of Merit. So it's you're constantly, your targets are always changing and moving, and so try and refocus again this week and get back to it hopefully.
Time for us to get back to the final round action at Golf Almerimar, and let's start with Hutchin. With 7 shots to make up, completing back-to-back wins was a lot to ask. A 2 here at the short 8th took him a couple under for the day. Hutchin would eventually shoot 68 to claim a share of 15th place.
This is Philip Price's 14th birdie of the week to move to 4 under. He had an eagle at the second today. It's just a real shame about those bogeys on the card.
Andrew Raitt was off to a flyer. He birdied the first 2 holes, had another at the 5th, and although he just missed the green on 6, he birdied that as well. Raitt already 4 under for the day and dreaming of that first win.
But what a start it's been for De Silva. Birdies at the first, second, and with this exquisite tee shot here at the third, makes that 3 birdies on the spin. And he is at 8 under.
Already a winner in Zambia last month, Keith Horn made a couple of early birdies, and although he gave a shot away at the 7th, he got it straight back by curling in a fine birdie putt on 8.
But the man who is really making a move is Peter Baker. Birdies at the 1st, 2nd and 5th, and here at the 6th. He'll go on to have more birdies at the 7th and 10th, but a drop shot at 11 puts him at 5 under for his round, but right in at contention at 7 under through 14.
Philip Archer had consolidated on birdieing the first 2 holes by parring the next 2, and with a solid approach to the long 5th, Archer set himself up for the 2-putt birdie, which took him to 9 under. His first bogey has come 2 holes later, but out in 34, Archer is 1 ahead of a group which includes Baker, who's going to be the first of the front runners to finish.
As the final group now head into the back 9, this is very much in the balance, and most of the players fighting at the top of the MCB Road to Mauritius standings are fighting for this trophy as well. There are more scoring opportunities out there. That back 9 pressure can do funny things. How is this one going to play out?
We'll have noticed that the name of Ewan McIntosh, who we saw in a share of the lead earlier, is no longer on the leaderboard. That's because he's had a triple bogey 7 at the 9th, back to 4 under. Here's Baker.
Playing a tremendous shot 2 to 15th. He's certainly got the juices flowing now. Can sense the winning line.
Well, I told you Philip Archer had bogeyed the 7th to go back to 8 under. He's still there playing the 10th.
Par 5 the 10th, so that's his 3rd shot. still have a chance of a birdie.
Now De Silva had his first bogey of the day on the 9th to be out in 34. Also looking to set up a birdie chance and getting it a good deal closer.
Yes, beautiful soft hands there, lovely lazy delivery of the club on the ball. But now Baker, can he make this putt on 15 for his birdie? And he certainly can, and that new putter that he put in the bag this week is working wonders for him at the moment.
He has a history of big finishes to big tournaments, doesn't he? 63 in the final round when he won the British Masters over 30 years ago now. Fairly quiet front nine for Laurie, 1 birdie, 1 bogey.
And he's had 3 eagles this week, more than anybody else on the par 5s. No eagle here at 10, but should make his birdie after that fine little chip.
Let's go back to Andrew Wright, who turned 55 a couple of days before the tournament started. 4 birdies in the first 6 today, but it's slowed a bit since. A decent chance to get things back on track there. We'll return to him, but now Philip Archer looking to start his homeward journey with a birdie.
And for the lead, and it took a little bit of a hop, skip and a jump there, and a bit of a goalkeeper in there keeping it out, so no birdie for Archer.
Yeah, and because he stays at 8 under, that means De Silva's putt will be to go into a tie for the lead.
It's De Silva starting with a birdie on his opening 9. Nice to start the back 9 the same way. Forearms and shaft all in a straight line. Good technique and nicely done. So he does get to 8 under.
3 players on that score now. Andrew Wright has this birdie chance on 15 to get within one of them and get some momentum back in his final round.
It's getting all a little bit squeaky tight up there at the top of the leaderboard, and every putt like that means a lot of money to these players, and kudos, so well done there for Andrew.
Could well get the highest finish of his Legends Tour career today. Paul Lawrie hasn't had a birdie since the 2nd.
Always has that little forward press with the putter just to initiate the start of his putting stroke. Hasn't changed over the years.
Baker's 7th birdie of the day sees him into a tie for the lead now. De Silva also moving to 8 under. They're both alongside Archer. Peter Baker riding a wave right now in search of yet another Legends Tour win. Welcome back to the final round of the European Legends Cup at Almerimar, here in Andalusia, in the south of the Iberian Peninsula. So much to do here, with golf among the many attractions and activities to be had, all set to the backdrop of some delightful scenery.
Ewan McIntosh at +1 for today may not be in the best frame of mind over this long putt here at 13. But surely that putt must cheer him up a little as he gets back to even par for the round.
Adilson De Silva's birdie at the 10th left him tied for the lead. At the very next hole though, he had a bit to do not to give that shot straight back, but he managed it. Philip Archer's momentum had faded a bit after a fast start, but he was still tied for the lead coming to the short 12th, where another solid shot would be followed by 2 putts for his 5th par in a row.
Not an easy putt by any means here at the 16th for Peter Baker. Down the slope, lots of break to it. Oh, and only if he'd hit it a fraction harder would have been his 8th birdie of the round and would have got him to 9 under.
De Silva has taken 4 at the short 12th, so it's now just the English pair leading. Good finishes from Jarmo Sandelin and Michael Campbell, both teed off level par, both signed off 4 under. The final group, Warren, have reached 13.
And a tricky little hole it is too, just 392 yards, but you need to be well down the left-hand side, left of those palm trees, to open up your second shot to the green. Archer out with the 3-wood, rather like the first hole, but into a bit of breeze here. And the trackman will show that the club head speed pretty similar to that at the first, where he hit it 230 yards, but into this breeze, only managing to hit it just over 220.
Yeah, Archer's good week hasn't come out of nowhere. 9th in France last time out. His only top 10 from 11 events this season. Philip Price, 4 under for the day. Got things really motoring with an eagle at the second, and he might just have another one here.
I always think of Price with "Tell Them Who I Beat," as he beat Mickelson in the Ryder Cup. Very famous victory for the Welshman. Now back to 13, to Silva. And has a little bit of a hanging lie here, ball below his feet, so that'll promote a little cut shot to this par 4. Just held it on line nicely.
Really has carved out such a wonderful career on the Legends Tour. Now Philip Archer, it would mean so much to him to win today, wouldn't it? He's been a runner-up on this circuit in the past, but never a winner. He has won on the Euro Pro and on the Challenge Tour.
He's had a putt for a 59 too on the main European Tour. The Celtic Man have won yet, just wriggled past the hole.
Philip Price has had a surprisingly low-key year. He's only been in the top 10 twice, but he's had a wonderful day today. What a turnaround from an opening 76. A full 10 shots better in his final round. It's going to be a very good placing for the Welshman today.
Yeah, 2 eagles on the card. That really helps you climb up the leaderboard. Laurie now at 13. A bit of the story of the day. Lagged it up there, but a little bit wide. Maybe just a bit of a misread. Good stroke.
Almost 2 years since his last win on the Legends Tour. Did go close in his home country last month, of course. Tell us about 17, Warren.
Well, the signature hole on the course, a beautiful par 3, an island green. And the good thing about it is you're playing from an elevated tee down to the green, so you can see all the trouble. 190 yards, quite a large green, so it shouldn't present a problem for the likes of these players.
A couple of birdies to finish, and it may yet be Andrew Rate's day.
Oh, it's a glorious shot. Must have looked very good to him, right down the banner.
Let's get back to 13. Adilson de Silva, a serial winner on the Legends Tour, testing putt to get to 8 under.
Yeah, it's coming up the plateau. He needed to give that quite a thump going up the hill. Not a bad effort though.
Winner in Ireland back in June. He's also had a 2nd place and a 3rd this season. So consistent, in addition to being a regular winner. The two don't always come together. Now another player who's won so many tournaments on the Legends Tour in recent years, Peter Baker.
'Tis a par 5, but going at the green with an iron. He'll be hunting down an eagle. Been 3 eagles so far today at this closing hole. That's a pretty good shot. Has a chance. Yeah, that's what he wanted. He wanted just to take the slope down towards the hole.
Scott Hend of Australia has had a very eventful day. He's had a couple of eagles, also a couple of double bogeys.
Don't mention those double bogeys to Scott. He's a charming man, but he might bristle.
Came into this week 2nd in the MCB Road to Mauritius.
Now after that lovely shot at 17, Rate has a chance for a 2. Needs to be aggressive. And that was not his best putt of the day. Will be a 3 though, and there've been scant birdies on this hole. Never bad to walk off this green with a par.
Let's get back to 18, and that eagle attempt for Scott Hend was Been a runner-up on the Legends Tour 3 times this season. This could move him right up the final standings.
You just hate that right in the jaws and a little short. Always hurts.
Closing 69, finishes 5 under. Now, 36 years ago, Peter Baker eagled 18 to force a playoff with Nick Faldo, which he then won by eagling the same hole again for his first win on the regular tour. How much would another eagle on 18 mean right now? Oh, he gave it every chance, Warren.
He did give it every chance. He's never shy, is he? But he's given himself a bit of a tester to come back.
He will have that to get to 9 under. Archer can move to that number right now.
Oh, and that's beautifully holed. That is a really good pressure putt from Archer. And doesn't he know it?
Back to Baker then. This really could be the most important putt anyone's had all week. This to get to 9 under and into the clubhouse. He was 6 back after an opening 74, but improved greatly as it went on. 68 in the second round and a closing 65. Peter Baker finishes 9 under. So those birdies leave a bit of distance between Baker and Archer and those in pursuit of them. And with Baker now finished, one more birdie might be enough for Philip Archer. He's been a runner-up before. Is this the day he becomes a Legends Tour winner? It's the climax of the European Legends Cup, where the list of possible winners is starting to really thin out. Greg Owen teed off with real hope, only 2 behind the leaders. But although he was the only player in the last 4 groups to birdie 17, this only got him back to where he'd started the day, at 4 under.
Bad news for joint leader Philip Archer. An errant tee shot at the 15th and a penalty shot for an unplayable ball definitely was not what he wanted. So he'll be playing his 3rd shot to the green.
From there he did set up a chance of salvaging par, but it came up so very, very close. So now Archer was out of the lead and knew he'd need to find at least one more shot to catch Baker's target, with only 3 holes left in which to do it. Only the 3rd bogey of Archer's week. It's such a big moment in his career.
De Silva at the 14th knows he has to be aggressive over the closing holes to catch Peter Baker, but he plays a glorious shot below the hole, giving himself an uphill putt for the birdie.
De Silva held his nerve to make that putt, which meant that with 2 to play, he, like Archer, also needed to find one more birdie. For now though, it's Baker clear at the top. Andrew Rate needed eagle at the last to match the clubhouse target, but had a par for 68. So since that birdie at the 14th, De Silva has parred 15 and 16, so running out of holes now. Still needs to find another.
Oh, he's played some glorious iron shots today, but that one will really please him. Not too many birdies here at 17, but he's given himself a great chance. That's put the pressure on Archer.
It was a big mental challenge to steady things after what happened at 15. He did that by parring 16, but this looks really bad, Warren.
Trying to play a punchy one, and I fear for him. I think that's in the water as we go to Keith Horn. Putting from off the green for an eagle. Outside chance, you've got to say. Big swing on it down the slope. Yeah, he'll take that. And who won in Zambia earlier this season, 63-64 on the closing 2 rounds.
Now we can confirm Archer did hit his tee shot into the water. He's taken a drop, really needs to get up and down from here, and then eagle the last to tie Baker, and that is far from in. Must be such a deflating feeling after all the adrenaline that's been pumping through his charge Ewan McIntosh been off to a good start today, and all went wrong for him at the 9th, but he's going to finish with a birdie. Yeah, 3 shots slipped away with a 7 on number 9. Really, he never got back into it after that. Started with a 69, went a little higher each day after that. Another good week though for the Scot. And speaking of Scots, let's see how Paul Lawrie's getting on at 17. Bit of anti-climax about his round. He's 1 over for the day, having started at tied for the lead.
And an awkward shot out of that fringe grass. It's very woolly there, bit sticky. Not easy to get that one close, and he's annoyed about that.
So also on 17, Philip Archer. Got to remind himself there's still a chance if he can make this.
No, not to be. And I wonder how much that bogey back on the 15th affected his concentration. Certainly unravelled a little bit since then. Amazing how just one shot can really turn a good round into a bit of a disaster.
3 shots gone in the last 3 holes. The only way he can win now is to hold his second for an albatross at the last. And up at the last, Greg Owen for a closing birdie.
Nicely done, and for the Englishman, a final round of 71 for him. So a steady week.
Yeah, 2 birdies in a row to finish. Owen has been 3rd twice on the Legends Tour this year in Greece and Ireland. Laurie battling to avoid dropping another one here on the penultimate green.
Well, may not have liked the chip, but he certainly will like the putt. That's a good save for Laurie.
He's always had such a wonderful short game. Keith Horn to end his week with a birdie. It's his only sub-70 round of the tournament. He won't get another win today, but he will finish in the top 10 for the 4th time this year. As we go back to a massive moment on 17, Warren.
Well, huge putt coming up for De Silva. This for a 2. Oh, and he's also misread it. That's a really poor putt from that sort of range, not to hit the hole. That's why he's hanging his head a little low. He knows he's missed a golden opportunity.
Not all bad news, of course. There is a par 5 to finish, and if he can make 4 there, he will tie with Baker. De Silva now the only player who can deny the Englishman another win, in all probability.
So De Silva here, second shot to the 18th, out with the metal wood. Can he get it home? Can he find the green and give himself an eagle putt? Oh, it's a hop, skip and a jump. He's got it on the dance floor. He does have a chance. We've seen quite a few 3s here on the 18th today. Could be a very exciting one if he can pop that one in.
Well, after everything that's happened to him in the last 3/4 of an hour or so, it would be one of the greatest golfing stories ever told if Philip Archer was to somehow hold this, which may just get him into a playoff. Well, didn't get close, but could finish with an eagle, which would be a respectable bounce back after the setbacks of the last few holes. And now it really is official. It will be either Baker or De Silva to lift this title.
And this putt, Archer to go first. I'm sure De Silva will be watching, give him an idea of pace as this ball goes down the slope and turns from right to left. Some players don't like to look, they might be put off, but I'm sure De Silva was watching. No final eagle for Archer.
Now this would be something. Paul Lawrie, if he makes this, will have eagled the 18th in every round.
Now that's just being greedy.
Never really threatened to do it. It will be a closing birdie. Disappointing day for him though. Would have really liked his chances of a first win out here for almost 2 years. Huge moment for De Silva, this to win.
Ooh, he looked as if he was just trying to coax it down there a little bit on the timid side, but it will be a birdie, I'm sure, as Archer goes first. And well done, that's brave when you consider what's happened to him over the closing few holes.
Yeah, and all 3 rounds under par for the second tournament in a row for Philip Archer. Well, back-to-back bogeys on 11 and 12 all but ended the hopes of Paul Lawrie. He was in such a promising position. Still a good week though, yet another one for the very consistent Scot.
Simplest of tap-ins for De Silva to tie Peter Baker in the clubhouse. 2 very good closing rounds of 68.
Yeah, and Baker's final day surge has ended up earning him a playoff for the title. Archer's late setbacks leave him 2 back, sharing third with Rate and Horn. Baker has had 1 Legends Tour playoff before. He's had 2 on the regular tour and 1 on the Challenge Tour, and he's won them all.
Teed it high, tried to hit the big high draw. Try and get as much yardage out there as he can, and he's hit that, what, 252 carry, just under 280 yards. That's a huge tee shot, and that will definitely put the pressure on De Silva. Will he try and take on the water? Long carry for him. Ooh, he's got that a little bit off the bottom of the club.
Whoa.
My goodness me, that's hit the rocks. And where's that gone? Now that is a very lucky chappie. That could have easily bounced back into the water. In fact, it's ricocheted back onto the fairway. And, well, who knows what that will mean to him.
Well, he's got a good record in playoffs as well. He's had 2 of them in his relatively short Legends Tour career so far, and won both. And here he is now after that extraordinary tee shot.
Now with a longish iron, he required a metal wood in regulation play, but I don't think he likes that too much. Not quite on the dance floor, but he should be left with a relatively simple chip.
Peter Baker gave himself an eagle putt in regular holes. Looking to set up another opportunity to do that here.
Can be much more aggressive, shorter iron coming in, a little bit more loft on the club face, but he too's left it a little bit out to the right. The whole ground slopes right to left. I think he was hoping for more of a bounce to kick it down towards the hole.
We've had no multiple winners so far this year on the Legends Tour. Whichever one of these 2 prevails will be the first.
There's 12 different winners so far on the tour as that one trickles down the slope, and he would love to have nudged that a tad closer. That's going to be a nervy one.
Well, De Silva a little earlier had a putt to win the tournament. Now Peter Baker has one of his own.
I don't think he'll leave this short. He'll give this a run. Normally so aggressive. Well, that surprised me a little. Fooled by the pace. But he's going to get a free read from De Silva. I think De Silva will go first. He'll have to move his marker away from De Silva's line.
De Silva birdied this hole in all 3 rounds in regulation play. And he's done it again in the playoff, and it might just be enough for him to win.
Yeah, certainly a little bit of movement on that from right to left. I'm sure Peter Baker would have been watching. Or does he try and hit it harder and take out the break?
Oh, it lips out. It's a 3-putt for Baker, and that means that for the second time this year, Adilson De Silva prevails in a playoff. He's the champion at the European Legends Cup. They both went into the playoff looking for a 7th career win on the Legends Tour. In the end, it goes to De Silva, and those 7 wins have come in 7 different countries, and all in the space of just over 2 years. Still a good week for Baker, while for Rate, it's the best result of his Legends Tour career. The trophy and the cheque presented by Tour CEO Phil Harrison at the end of this inaugural staging of the European Legends Cup.
I was really focused. I think towards the middle of the rounds I missed 1 or 2 putts, and then I think I lost a little bit of my concentration there, but somehow I managed to pick up towards the end. Quite a day, quite a roller coaster of a day.
De Silva vaults from 3rd to top on the MCB road to Mauritius. Baker also climbs a couple of spots. Last year's number 1 is now in 3rd.
Another chapter is written in the amazing rivalry between Peter Baker and Adilson De Silva this week at the European Legends Cup. And it's the Brazilian who's come out on top on this occasion. Congratulations, Adilson, and we'll see you next time.